let's go over these questions then from Friday. So question 2 I had answered in the video last Friday. Question 3 you had to use this equation y equals 2.5x and do the table. So that is what values you should have there. Then question 4, again, these are the values you should have had in your table there. So question 5, we had to find the gradient of these lines. So in this one, the gradient is 5. You're marking and correcting your work here, please. This one, the gradient is -7. This one, 12. And this one, -1/4. For question 6, we had to rearrange these and make them be in the form y equals something. So this one I had done for you. This one here I have not done. So b 5y equals 12x. We have to divide both sides by 5 to get y on its own. So 12 over 5x. If I'm going non-calculator, then I would go fractions. So 5 into 12 goes twice, remainder 2. So 2 2/5 x, which is 2.4. So either of those would be right for that one. Over the page then, page 59, we had to say which one of these were steeper. So in question 1, the y equals 5x is steeper. I'm not going to write them all out, but I'll be saying them, okay? Question 2, y equals 5x is steeper. Question 3, y equals 1/2 x is steeper, because 1/2 is bigger than 1/3. 4, y equals -3x is steeper. 5, y equals 10x is steeper. And 6, y equals -1/2 x is steeper. So the ones that I think may have caught you out there are the fraction ones, or maybe even the negative ones. So it's the magnitude of the number that tells you really the steepness of it. So just to recap what we have learnt so far, we've learnt how to plot our graphs using our equation. We've also discovered that if you have your equation of the line in the form y equals, say this one, y equals 5x, right? The number in front of the x tells you the gradient of the line. Now remember, the gradient of the line is just a measure of how steep it is. So this one here, y equals 2x, it would have a gradient of 2, etc. Now, we're going to start to discover another little rule here today. So if you turn over to page 60, I'm actually going to leave this little page probably until tomorrow, right? We'll be talking about this here tomorrow. Today I want you to do a little bit of discovery, okay? So if you turn over to page 61, this example 2, I want you to try this yourself, okay? I will go over it again in tomorrow's lesson, but today I want you to try it yourself and see if you can discover the rule. So example 2 is asking you to draw a graph of 3x plus 3. It tells you to use these x values. So x is -4, x is -1 and 3. And then use it to find y when x is these things. So just to remind you what you do here, you have your, that should really be a graph of y equals 3x plus 3. Sorry, year 10, you'll need to fix that. Okay. So you've got your equation of the line. Substitute in for your x and find the corresponding y value, and do that for all 3 of those. Figure out what scales, what axes you'll have to draw here, and then plot your points. Now, what I also want you to do is to figure out the gradient of the graph. Okay. You might know already what it's going to be from the equation, but if you calculate it and check that you do have the right answer, perfect. And I also want you to write down the y coordinate where the graph crosses the y-axis. Okay, so I want you to figure out the gradient of your line after you've drawn it, note it down there. Then I want you to look and read off the y coordinate for where this graph crosses your y-axis. Okay, so your y-axis up and down the way, your line is going to go probably something like that. So what that y coordinate is, where your graph crosses over that y-axis. Once you've got that done, have a wee look and see how does that relate back to this equation, okay? And then that's what I'm going to be talking about with you tomorrow. So that's it. Honestly, that is it for today, Year 10. It's quite a short little set of work. The reason for that is because so many of you are so behind on your work. So use this time to get caught up. If you're all up to date, happy days. But there's a bunch of people have a lot of stuff to get caught up on. So I'm giving you this time now, okay? Get it done.